I'm not you, by the way.
No.
Make sure you have fun.
Nick speaking, and welcome to this video. Right, 13,000 subscribers. Wow, that is awesome. Thank you everyone who's pushed the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. And if you watch my videos but you haven't subscribed yet, then start now. Hit the subscribe button and ding the bell button so you don't miss an upload. Okay, so to celebrate 13,000 subscribers, I'm going to show you the outtakes of when Necron Girl and myself recorded the video clips for my previous Necron tactical video. Now this was quite impromptu because my original idea was just to get her to say one thing. However, she seemed to be up for doing some more, so I just ran with it. Now as a bonus, there's a clip at the end of the video of me trying to say a 10-second sentence, and it takes me 5 minutes. So I hope you'll have fun watching these clips. And as a note, when I get to 15,000 subscribers, I'm going to be having a massive giveaway on the channel, so stay tuned for that. So I am going to say, imagine this before, I'm going to say, right, rule number 10, and the most important rule of all, I want you to say is, make sure you have fun.
Is that all? Make sure you have fun.
Yeah. For now. Right, I'll hold the mic here. Right there.
And yes.
I know, like that, right there. Got to say nice and loud, ready? I'll stand in the middle, that's it.
Make sure you have fun.
That's it. Try again like this, go. Make sure you have fun.
No. All I have to do with my finger.
Point to that.
Okay. I'm not you, by the way.
No.
Make sure you have fun.
Yeah, that sounded really good. Just try it one more time. I think that's good though. Try it one more time.
Make sure you have fun.
Brilliant. Do you want to try doing Necrons while you're there?
What kind of Necrons?
Go. Like you do. Necrons!
Necron!
Right.
Necrons!
Yes, that's good, that's good, that's good. Let's just see one more line, I might be able to stick it in. Right. For number 4.
Tiny duck slowly upstairs.
Okay, do a bit of singing if you want while I'm waiting.
I do.
Alright, one of your songs.
Homegrown navigator, sea rater, gotta hit your road. I'm coming! Gotcha.
Okay. What I want you to say now, right, you ready for this?
No.
I want you to say, take full use of your gun, right, hold on, start this one, right. Cover both sides of the board.
Why?
No, alright then.
Both sides.
Right.
Middle.
Right. Take full use of your gun ranges.
Okay. Any movement of the hands?
Well, yeah, just do it like that.
Oh, sorry.
Look at that, remember.
Okay. Take full use of the gun's ranges. Did I say it right?
Yeah, so try it again. Take full use of the gun ranges.
Ranges. Rangers.
Distance. Take full use of your gun distance.
Take full use of your gun's distance. Okay.
Yeah. Make sure your guns are in range. There
Oh.
you go. Make sure your guns are in range.
Make sure your guns are in range.
Yeah, try it again. Get a bit closer.
I'm trying to do it like you. Ah! Okay.
Step into it, go to the back and then step to the front so you get closer. And then step in and then go, make sure. Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
like this. Make sure you...
Yeah, like that.
Wait, so what was it?
Make sure your guns are in range.
Make sure your guns are in range.
Yep.
I feel if I was looking at myself then.
Try one more side.
Okay.
Right, what we're going to do now is get you to get off a moment. I want you to go one side. Get on again.
Oh no, this is going to be crazy.
That's it. Hair. Right, I want you next is to or castle up on one side.
Or castle up on one side.
Yeah, try it one more time.
I look at the camera.
Yeah, you could say or castle up on one side.
Or castle up on the one side.
Or not on the one side, or castle up on one side.
On one side.
Yeah.
Castle up on one side.
Yeah, that's it.
Or castle up on
Yeah.
one side.
Or castle up on one side.
Oh, I don't think I should use my hands there.
Okay.
Or castle up on one side.
Perfect, yeah. Perfect. Well,
Good, well done, Mummy. Well done.
okay, come here. Alright.
Whoa, hey, it's me, Daddy Dog. And me in the video. Hey, Nick, what are you doing?
Get back on. Get closer. Right, that's it. Get back on.
Daddy Dog.
Get back on.
Nick. Okay.
Right, next is going to be
Wait, what am I
Necron tip number 4, deployment.
Daddy.
What?
It's not really in the middle.
That's alright. What I want you to do, actually get to one side slightly, and I want you to point when you say Necron tip number 4, because I'm going to put number 4 up. Right, Necron tip number 4,
I got it.
deployment. Deployment, say it, deployment.
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 That's it.
Wait, what does it say?
We're going like this. Necron tip number 4, deployment.
Okay. Necron tip number 4, deployment.
That's perfect. You're really good at this.
Oh my god.
You're really good at this.
Last time I was like, well, ha ha ha. Because when I was little, like, I didn't want everyone to see me. Because then I keep on laughing
Yeah.
when I sing in front of you.
Yeah, before, yeah, you
But
did.
yeah. Because then I was like looking on the floor up into the ceiling.
Well, next, last one then. Think and remember about enemy reserves. Let's go over that side. You haven't been over that side yet, have you?
Think.
No, I think just say, remember about, no. Don't forget your enemy reserves.
I can do think and remember your enemy.
Yeah, okay then. Think about and remember your enemy reserves. Hold on, let me get the mic hook. Right, okay.
Think and remember about your enemy deserves.
Reserves.
Reserves. I don't know. It's a long word.
Yeah, it's a long word.
Think about and remember about your enemy.
Think about and remember your enemy reserves.
Think and no.
Yeah.
Think about.
Think and remember about enemy reserves.
Think and remember about your enemy reserves.
Yeah, and then you just got to say it all in go. Think about and remember your enemy reserves.
Think about
Oh,
and
it's in focus. Let me say it again, right? Think about and remember your enemy reserves.
Think about and remember.
Sorry, I'll do it again. Think about and remember your enemy reserves.
Okay, think about and remember. Think about and remember about your enemy reserves.
Yeah, you said about twice though. Think about and remember your enemy reserves.
Think about and remember about your enemy reserves.
Yeah, we said about twice. Think about and remember your enemy reserves. Think about and remember your enemy reserves.
Wait, think about
And remember your enemy reserves.
Think about and remember your enemy
Nearly, yeah, nearly. Think about and remember your enemy reserves.
Think about and remember your enemy reserves.
Perfect. Well done, Hazel.
People, my name is Daddy Duck. I have a YouTube channel in Duckland. Did you know that?
No.
Come on, Nick! Better watch it. What am I supposed to do again?
So, my name's Daddy Duck. I've got a YouTube channel. Whatever, in Duckland.
Nick, did you tell me? No, again. Right. Nick, did you tell your lovely subscribers to subscribe to my YouTube channel? Yeah, it's in Duckland. Did you know that? I live in Duckland. Did you know that?
No, I haven't told them that.
What? You haven't subscribed? Please subscribe. Okay, I'm done. Cut it out. Ah!
Plus, they don't need to be in any particular dynasty to benefit them. However, Nephric destroyers. Plus, they don't need to be in any particular dynasty to really benefit them. However, Nephric destroyers. Plus, they don't need to be in any particular dynasty to really benefit them. However, Nephric destroyers being able to. Plus, they don't need to be in any particular dynasty to benefit them. Plus, they don't rely on any particular dynasty to really benefit them. However, Nephric destroyers are probably the best ones out there because you can hold them into reserve, so if you don't get turn 1, they are protected from first turn shooting. Now Plus, destroyers don't really benefit from any particular Plus, destroyers don't really benefit from any particular dynasty. However, Nephric destroyers are probably the best ones, being able to use the crypt and hold them into reserve, so that if you don't get first turn, you can keep them. Plus, destroyers don't really benefit from a particular dynasty. Plus, destroyers don't really benefit from any particular dynasty. Plus, destroyers don't really rely on a particular dynasty. Nephric destroyers, however, are probably the best ones. Being able to hold them in translocation crypt means that you're not there for turn 1. If you don't get turn 1, you're protected. Plus, destroyers don't really rely on the. Plus, destroyers don't really rely on a particular. Plus, destroyers don't rely on a specific Plus, destroyers don't really rely on a special Plus destroyers don't really rely on a particular dynasty. They can work independently. However, in the Nefret dynasty, plus destroyers don't really rely on a particular dynasty. However, plus destroyers don't really rely on a specific dynasty. Plus destroyers don't really rely on a specific dynasty. Plus destroyers don't really rely on a particular dynasty. However, Nefret destroyers, plus destroyers don't really rely on a particular dynasty. Plus destroyers don't really rely on a specific. Plus destroyers don't really rely on a. Plus destroyers don't really rely on any dynasty. Plus destroyers don't really rely on any dynasty. They work in them all. However, Nefret destroyers are particularly good because you can use the. Plus they don't really rely on any particular dynasty. Plus they don't really rely on any particular dynasty. Plus they don't really rely on any specific Plus they don't really rely on any dynasty. Plus they don't really rely. Plus they don't really rely on any particular dynasty. Nefret destroyers are probably the best using the translocation. Plus Nefret design. Plus destroyers don't really rely on any particular dynasty. Plus destroyers don't really rely on a specific dynasty. Plus destroyers don't really rely on a specific dynasty. Nefret destroyers are probably the best down to their stratagem, translocation. Plus destroyers don't really rely on a specific. Plus destroyers don't really rely on a specific dynasty. Nefret destroyers are probably the best, allowing you to use their stratagem, translocation. Plus Nefret destroyers. Plus destroyers are probably. Plus destroyers don't really rely on a specific dynasty. Nefret destroyers are probably the best down to their stratagem. Plus destroyers don't really rely on a specific dynasty. Nefret destroyers are probably the best down to their stratagem, translocation crypt, allowing you to hold the unit back in reserve and come down on turn 1. In that way, if you don't get turn 1, your destroyers are protected.